Oh my goodness, hello. Lullaby. Say hello. Okay, lay down, please. Hi everyone, and welcome to the Knit California podcast. My name is Leslie. I'm a knitter and knitwear designer from Southern California, and today I have a regular podcast episode for you. So grab something to work on, grab something cozy to drink, and let's get into it. I am excited to talk to you today because I have a finished object and 2 whips to update you on. It's only been 1 week since I last talked to you, so I don't have progress on every single one of my projects. But I figured I do have some decent updates on, I guess, 3 of my projects. So now is a good time to give you an update on them. So we are going to start with my finished object, which is my Jaunty shawl. Dun, da, da, da. Where's it? Dun, da, da, da. Here it is. Okay, so when I showed this to you on the episode last week, I filmed it on Sunday, October 4th. And I said, I'm gonna finish this very, very soon. And then I finished it that night. And then I blocked it basically the next day, I think, or over the week. So this has been done for a while. It's been ready to show off to you. And I love it. I don't really know how much like actual wear I'm gonna get out of this. It's pretty short, and so like I don't really know how to wear something this short, you know? I don't know. I've seen a couple reels on like, you know, I could like tie it like this or something. That doesn't look great, but what I do really like about it is that I used a handspun skein for this. This is the first handspun skein that I spun up using like the fractal handspun method or whatever you want to call it. And so I just really like that you can see all of those transitions and all of the different colors of yarn in this shawl. And this this fiber was from Little Fiber Co. It was the cotton candy snack pack, and so like very like pastel color family, color story that you can see very nicely, and I just think it's gorgeous. So yeah, I don't know how much wear I'm going to be getting out of this, but I think someday when I get another craft room back, this might be something that gets hung up and is just something really gorgeous to look at. I think it's really, really beautiful. So I love it so much. A few of you commented on last week's video and were saying, this is really inspiring, like this makes me want to knit something out of my own handspun or knit a jaunty out of my own handspun, and I think absolutely you should do that. Someone else commented saying they were working on a jaunty with 1 skein of handspun and 1 skein of, I can't remember if it was a variegated yarn or just a solid yarn, but a regular yarn, just to make their handspun skein last further. Like they were alternating like every other row, or you may need to do every 2 rows just with the way, because it's worked back and forth. But I thought that was really, really smart. If you didn't do like a fractal spin, or you have a handspun yarn maybe that's just like fully variegated, I think that could be A really smart idea, again, to make your handspun last longer and to get a bigger shawl, like a 2 skein shawl versus this is just a 1 skein shawl. You can get it much larger. This, I think it did grow a little bit in blocking, but I think the larger your shawl is, the more it's gonna grow in blocking as well. And in my opinion, the larger the shawl, the more comfortable it is, the more exciting it is, the more wearable it is. So if I did make another one, I would definitely do at least 2 or 3 skeins, if not more, but at least 2, if not at least 3. So would highly recommend this. It was so fun. If you have any, self-striping yarn or, like spin cycle or like anything like that, this would be a really fun project for that type of yarn. So I love it so much. It's gorgeous. So that's my Jaunty. It's done. This only took me 4 days, like I said. So it was a really quick project as well. Okay, let's move on, and I want to show you the progress on my book club cardigan. I've been working on this over the last couple of days. Okay, we had finished on last week's update, we had finished the body and I had worked on the sleeve, partially done with the sleeve. Here is where my marker was. So this week I finished the sleeve. This is the left sleeve. And I cast it on, or picked up stitches for the right sleeve. So it's not, well, I was gonna say it's not a ton of progress, but let's not diminish the amount of work that this is, because, it's cables and it was a lot of work. I had to keep checking, the length of this sleeve and measuring it and trying it on and making sure that this was going to be the length that I wanted it to be. I was not following the lengths in the pattern for sleeves and body lengths. I rarely, at this point in my knitting career, follow pattern lengths. I go based on where I want garments to end up, where I want the lengths to be. And so that is based off of like trying it on, knowing what measurements I like, compare and contrast based on previous garments that I've knit. And so that's what I was doing. For this, I was trying it on, looking in the mirror, getting my measuring tape out, holding my arm out, measuring how much longer I wanted it to be, seeing, the other part for this is figuring out where your cable motif is going to end. I've seen a lot of people's cable motifs end here at the point of the diamond, and I think that's where it ends in the pattern sample. Sorry, Nordlund's version in the pattern. But for me, it just ended up better to end at the outside edge, which does match the body, which is where I ended it here. So I was totally fine with that. By the way, this is the book club cardigan by Sari Nordlund. I did not mention that. This pattern is by Andrea Mowry. I did not mention that either. The yarn that I'm using for this is the Berroco Lanas Lite in the colorway Phlox. It's a PHLOX. And this is the Knitting for Olive soft silk mohair in the colorway Dusty Violet. So let me show you the sleeve. I can try this on now. It's in a good spot. Okay. So the body is looking good. And here is the sleeve. So I think this hits really nicely, you know, right below my wrist. I personally need my garments to hit somewhere on the hand. I do not like things that are above the wrist. That really bothers me. So I needed it to be a little bit longer. I did the full 2 inches of ribbing. For me, that was 12 rows of ribbing to match the bottom body hem here. And so, yeah, I think it looks really good. And so now we're over here on this sleeve, and we're gonna do the exact same thing. So I marked out, I'm using my row counter to remind me when I need to do my decrease rows for the sleeves. So I've got this green, can you see it? Come on. I've got this green light bulb stitch marker on the 8 because I'm doing a decrease round every 8 rows. So every time I get to the 8, that is when I'm doing my decrease round. After that round, I put my row counter back on 1 and I go again. And then every time I do a decrease round, I'm marking it on the sleeve with another light bulb stitch marker. And since I did this on the first sleeve, I am taking all of my light bulb stitch markers from the first sleeve and moving them over to the second sleeve. I realized when I was reading the instructions again, when I was picking up stitches for the second sleeve, technically I did 1 fewer decrease than I was supposed to on the sleeve, but oh well, who cares, whatever, it is what it is. I'm gonna be matching the second sleeve to the first sleeve, so technically there are 2 more stitches on this sleeve than there should be. Lilliput. Lilliput's trying to drink my coffee. So that is the method that I'm using for these sleeves. All of the decreases are done in this double moss stitch section on either side of, right on the underarm, there's this knit stitch, purl, knit, purl, and then these 2 sections of the double moss stitch. So all of the decreases are done in this section, which makes it really easy so that they're not noticeable at all. They're not being done, it doesn't impact any of your cable motif, which all of this is what sits on top of your arm. So it's really nice. Really like that. And yeah, I don't know, this is going really well. So I'm gonna finish this sleeve, and then I think next in the instructions it tells you how to do the pockets, so I'll probably do that, and then we'll save the double knit button band for last. Hopefully this will go smoother than this did on my Midland cardigan, just because I have a little bit more experience with it now that I've done 2 Midland cardigans. This is knit on 4.5mm needles, like the main body, and the Midland cardigan is also knit on 4.5mm needles. I'm hoping that the double knit button band, I'm gonna try to knit it on the same needle size that I knit on my Midland cardigan. That's what I'm gonna start with and see how that goes. I'm wondering if, because this is cabled, like, will that make a difference? I don't know. The Midland cardigan is DK weight, and this is sport plus lace. I guess technically that's, is that DK or worsted? So should I go up a needle size for the button band? I don't know. It's probably going to be a little bit of trial and error again, but we'll see. The other thing that I've been starting to think about are buttons for this. So I was asking Rachel and Jackie, Rachel from Rachel is Knitting and Jackie from Jackie is Making. We have a text message and I was like, okay, I need to start thinking about buttons. What buttons should I put on this? And they, I think without even realizing what I had on hand, they said opalite / mother of pearl. And I know that they've been thinking about opalite because of the new Taylor Swift song, Opalite. And I kind of had a feeling that that's what they were gonna say. And I have these buttons that I purchased. Let me see if I can show you. I might need to put a picture up. I have these buttons that I purchased at La Mercerie when we went there during Clockwork Fiber Festival that are mother of pearl, I think. I don't know if they're real or what, but they're shiny. They've kind of got that purpley look, and I think they could look really nice. So I took a picture of laying these on top of the book club cardigan. The pattern, Sari Nordlund only calls for 4 buttons. She recommends 3/4 inch buttons. I think these are a little bit smaller. I haven't measured these, but I think they are a little bit smaller. So if I use these, I would probably do, I think I put, how many did I put on there? I bought 8. Yeah, I put 6 on here. So I could do 6. I could do between 4 and 6. So 4, 5, or 6. 5 might be interesting. So I don't know. I think they're really pretty. I think they could work. I'm not a full yes, and I'm not a full no with these buttons. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. I put a post on Instagram on my stories and I said, how do we feel about these buttons? Thumbs up or thumbs down? Majority of people said thumbs up, but some people said thumbs down, but then some people said thumbs down. Hold on, let me go back to the story. I never looked at the final numbers. Okay, 271 people said thumbs up, so that's about 80%. It's like 80-20. 80% thumbs up, 20% thumbs down. 271 yes, 71 no. That's funny, those numbers. Any people that I trust that said no. That's what I like to look for. Any people that I know and that I trust. Most of my friends and people who I talk to all said yes, so that at least makes me feel better. And then the other kind of just DMs that I got, a couple of people said, well, one person said they had similar buttons and they broke. One person said they liked them, but not for this project. And someone said they look good, but they would do fewer than 6. So, oh, the other thing is for everyone that said no, no one gave me other suggestions. So that's kind of the dilemma I'm in, is I don't have any other thoughts or any other options. The only, I guess, kind of like, the one thing that I can think of is these buttons are really beautiful. They're really shiny. Like, do they kind of take away focus from how special like the cabled cardigan is? Like, this cardigan is really, really beautiful. I feel like I've put in a lot of work in knitting this cardigan, and would these buttons like draw focus away from the cableness of the cardigan? Maybe. I guess, like, would the buttons be the main focus of the cardigan if I use these buttons? If I don't use these buttons, like, what should I go with? Like, should I just go with regular, like, black buttons? Would that be boring? Maybe, but I guess boring doesn't really matter if, like, you know, it's cohesive and, you know, it just ties the whole cardigan together, you know? The problem is that I don't think I brought my, like, stash of black buttons with me here. I think they're in storage. So I would need to order some, which is just, which is fine. It's just annoying. So that's all of that to say, if you have any suggestions on buttons, I would love your thoughts in the comments. I don't think, I'm just thinking through like colors. I don't think white. I think if I did something more solid, black would be good. Tortoise shell? What do you think? Like brown tortoise shell? Would that work? Or does that not really go with this purple color? My glasses are tortoise shell. What do we think? I don't know. Maybe black would be best. My mom has a button box. Maybe I need to go digging through the button box. Maybe. Alright, anyways, that is my book club cardigan. Oh, let's move Miss Butterfly. Alrighty, there we go. Miss Butterfly has been moved to track our progress. So this is really coming along though, and we're gonna be, the next time I see you, we will have celebrated the 1-year anniversary, 1-year birthday of my book club cardigan. It's on October 17th. So today that I'm filming this is the 12th. To the day that this video goes live is the 14th, and the 17th is its birthday. It's Friday, I think. It's the 17th. Yeah, this Friday is the 1-year birthday of this cardigan. So happy birthday. So special. All right, let's move on. I am really, really excited to show you the progress that I have made on my next project, because every time I've talked to you about this project, I keep telling you that it's boring. And I haven't made very much progress on it, like week after week after week. This week, I've made progress on it. So I'm excited to show you my Traveler's Shell. This is a project by Andrea Mowry, and I have finally made some progress on it. So it's kind of going to be hard to show you because it's in like all these, it's all one piece, but it's kind of all over the place. But all right, here's where we were last week, and I finished the body, back panel. I don't know what we want to call this. I finished I finished the part where you have to just keep knitting in the round the whole time. And then we moved on to, maybe I should look up the correct section names. Okay, yeah, this is just called the body. Okay, I finished the body. And so this is a couple inches. I realized last week that I was really close to just being done with the body. Like, I was only a couple inches away, and I was like, let's just do it. Let's just get this over with, okay? So I did it, finished the body. And then we moved on to the yoke separation and the right front, which is this. And I did the whole right front. This is backwards. Technically it is, it's this part right here. Yeah, it's this right here, the right front. So I did the whole right front. Okay, wow, yeah, this looks great. And now I'm working on the left front here. This is so confusing, knitting a bottom-up garment. I have no idea what like part I'm working on, but here it is. Okay. Yeah, so is this twisted? No, it's not, okay. Right, so here's the whole thing, right? Here's the back. And it's gonna come around, and this is the right front. And I'm working on the left front, right? And so this is gonna come up, and then after that, we're gonna pick up, these stitches are still on the needle. So I'm gonna come back here and knit the back yoke up, and then we're going to connect the shoulders here and here. And then we'll do a button band. Well, it's not a button. We'll do a band. There aren't any buttons on this one. So, and then we'll do sleeves. But I'm really proud of myself because I'm actually making progress. This is also way less boring now that I don't have 250 whatever stitches on the needle all at one time. Like, only doing this many stitches, it's like, I don't know, 70 stitches or whatever, is so much more manageable. And because like you can see this growth happening so much quicker, so it just like is so much more motivating to finish. Like, I did this in, I don't know, maybe 2 nights. I was just like, done. Okay, thank you. Let's move on. So yeah. Whereas like this, remember, it took me like 4 weeks, a month, whatever. So yeah. I am nervous about my yarn situation. Well, I guess maybe I shouldn't be. So everything that I've knit so far has been with 4 balls of, I had 10 of these balls, and I have 6 left. So I've used 4 so far. This is all I have left of the one that I've been using. These are 50-gram balls, so if I think about it in terms of like 100-gram balls, I've used 2 skeins and I've got 3 left. I don't know, I'm worried about, because I want to make a long sleeve version, I might run out of yarn to be able to do that. So we'll see. I'm definitely going to like finish the front, connect everything, do the button band, like finish all of that before I start the sleeves, and like make sure I separate the yarn for each sleeve if I'm still worried about yarn at that point, so that I have equal amounts of yarn for each sleeve, and then I can just like knit each sleeve until I run out of yarn and see how far I get, and then hope that I can just block them and that they stretch in length in blocking. So yeah, we'll see. Yeah, hopefully the sleeves don't have to be like as long as I think they do. Okay, here's what I'm thinking now. If maybe I will, okay, I'll knit it to pattern, right? With the button band. I'll knit it to pattern minus the sleeves in the pattern, and then I'll block it, and we'll see how far down the shoulder drop goes, because the farther the shoulder drop goes, right, the shorter the actual sleeve knitting needs to be. And then we'll know how long of the sleeve I will have to knit, also taking into account how much the sleeve will grow after I block it again, because the sleeve knitting will grow in blocking. Okay, so that's the plan. The thing about this yarn is just that it's fewer yards, I think. It's 50 grams, 190 yards versus like 200 yards, or like a little bit more than that. It's just like a little bit fewer yards than like a full fingering weight skein. That's all. So that's what's like messing with my head a little bit. But yeah, hopefully it'll be okay. And ultimately, I'm having more fun knitting this now that I have fewer stitches to knit at one time. So yay. I do think, you know, when I go back and I have to knit the back panel, that's gonna be, it's not gonna be as bad as it was before, but that might slow me down again. But we'll see. That's where I'm headed after I finish this. So we'll see. I'll keep you updated on how I'm feeling. You know I will. So, all right, that is the update on my Traveler shell. That was a fun little try on. I needed to see and like visualize all the different pieces and sections, because knitting it bottom up like this is just confusing me. Okay, and I'm gonna move my little mermaid. There we go. She's moved. So, all right, that is the Traveler Shell by Andrea Mowry. All right, that is all of my knitting projects that I have for you, all of the updates. I don't have any spinning updates. I have not been spinning. I just haven't been in the mood. I mean, really, since I like went full like gung-ho spinning it's been like 2 or 3 weeks since then. I have not been in the mood. I've really just been in the knitting mood, which is fine. But yeah, I don't know, I need to get back at my wheels soon. And I don't have any acquisitions for you this week either, which is good because I've been buying a lot of yarn and I need to slow it down a little bit. So I think that's all the knitting I have for you this week. I want to do a really quick tailor talk check-in. So if you're not interested in that, thank you so much for joining me. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. Please subscribe if you're not subscribed already. It really means a lot. And yeah, I hope you'll stick around. All right, quick tailor talk. I just want to check in on how we're feeling about The Life of a Showgirl now that we've officially had it for a week. I am still loving the album. I've pretty much been listening to it exclusively over the last week. Haven't really been listening to anything else. The acoustic tracks that have come out this week, I really like. I think my favorite one is the Elizabeth Taylor. It's just so different from the original track. It's really good. I think in terms of my track ranking, I don't think anything has really changed. The Fate of Ophelia, Opalite, and The Life of a Showgirl are still my top 3 tracks. Let me open it up actually. Okay, Eldest Daughter, Wishlist, and Honey were at the bottom. I think Honey is still my least favorite. And it's come out that Honey is the least streamed track overall of the album, which is interesting. For me, I'm still just finding it really repetitive. I really like the bridge when she changes the lines, the first one is, when anyone calls me sweetheart, blah, 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 when anyone calls me honey, and then that is the part that just gets repeated over and over again. And then the bridge, she changes it, when anyone called me late night, and then when anyone called me lovely. I think it would have been really cool if she changed it multiple times. That to me is what stands out in the song, is that just it's really repetitive. The rest of, I was gonna say Wishlist is definitely rising for me. That was my number 2 lowest song. I don't know if I can put it above any of the other songs, but I'm definitely liking it more and more. Same with Eldest Daughter. It's definitely rising for me in terms of how much I like it, especially because I really like the bridge. The bridge is just really pretty. Elizabeth Taylor is also rising in my ranking. I would probably say Elizabeth Taylor is my number 4. I think it's probably solidified as my number 4 track. And yeah, I don't know if I can rank the rest right now, but yeah, I don't know. I think overall still, it's just, I'm still really liking the album. It's just a really, really happy, really fun, really upbeat, and I enjoy that. We got news today that there's going to be some sort of announcement tomorrow on GMA, Good Morning America. I'm really curious to see what that is. By the time this comes out, we will know what that is, but I don't know. I'm hoping, my hope is that it's some sort of movie, documentary maybe, but we've been hoping for that for 2 years now, so who knows? I guess you know what it's gonna be. Anyways, yeah, I would love to hear your thoughts if anything has changed in the last week, or what. So that's all my tailor talk for today. I guess I'm really excited for future music videos, and we'll have more to say once more stuff comes out. So that's it. All right, thank you guys so much for watching. Really appreciate you being here, and I will see you on the next one. Bye.